And
Alright guys, so I literally have to record this because otherwise it's gonna be like so long to read, so I'm just gonna have to read this really quickly. I think it's time for me to share a bit about my perspective and side of the story on how this whole mess came to be. Mine and this person's relationship started abruptly and changed my life more quickly than I could have ever imagined. There kept being temptations thrown in my face like exposure, fame and money, and I received all three. But not by any wrongdoing or ill will. In fact, quite the opposite. She knew what she was offering me and she knew what she was wanting from me. She approached me at the bar. She asked me to be in her YouTube videos, she booked jobs through my modeling agency, and she would ask for me to take pictures with her. While I found it quite generous of her to be giving me exposure and recognition, I never asked for it.
Initially kind of had him on in the light of like not us creating a relationship, if you know what I mean. Like I was like, okay, you know what, let's film this video, let's take photos, and also too, you know, since you are a model, like why don't you just be in my campaigns and stuff.
Except for that fight she mentioned, which was the most relaxed conversation by the way, she kept booking me. Her manager is my agent's partner, and she kept me constantly in her life for project after project with bigger incentives to come back each time.
We got into a really big fight when I had posted my campaign video. He basically sent me a text that was like, damn, you didn't tag me, how cruel.
Let it be known that my life was changing for the better at this point. A few tags from her and she was opening up doors for me left and right. I pretty much got brought out of the woodwork for her fake boyfriend idea. And she was all for forging that image of us. I don't know Hollywood well at this point, and I assume that this is a normal thing to do to find success in the industry, and I thought nothing of it. Until I started getting uncomfortable when the videos required more touching or kissing or dancing. I slowly let myself do more and more, and it branded me to be a person I didn't feel like I was.
When everything started to take a turn was when I started to catch feelings, and when I noticed that he started to catch feelings as well.
The worst was when we did a quote boyfriend Q&A where her fans could ask questions about us. Half the questions were either too sexual or too false for me to read. There were cameras filming and so much pressure to answer those questions, as I and her were really an item. When we had this conversation on our balcony, I asked her what she wanted because I honestly wanted to know.
Took a good 9 months to develop some eggs with Daddy Dragon here.
On in like a bright, shiny outfit, and I was like, who the hell is this? And you know, one thing led to another, and we you know, did a video shortly after, and the rest is history.
Was she wanting me to fully fake being her boyfriend and fabricate this fantasy that she desired so badly? Was she wanting me to sleep with her? What was she wanting? So she said, you. And I told her that I liked her as a person and had an insane about her respect for her courage and her utter boldness to accomplish all that she has. I didn't mean I like you and I am interested in you. I said this would be a new thing for me and I'm not sure how to feel about it, and that I would take a day at a time.
And said, Nikita, I don't care what the world is gonna say, I don't care what people are gonna say. I like you and I want something more from this.
She kept increasing the pressure by luring me in with the lifestyle and celebrity circle and weakened my sense of judgment. As our relationship became more social, going to events and parties, there naturally came to be more drinking and partying. She would intentionally invite me to things after we would wrap our YouTube videos and projects for her company campaign. Or better yet, we would start the day at her apartment by having call time there, so my car would be at our building, and when we go home I would be stuck there. Her team would always rush out of the apartment quickly after arriving so that we would be left alone. I would make excuses as to what modeling jobs I had the next day, when sometimes I had none. It was such constant strategic social gameplay that I hadn't even seen on Survivor. I felt like I couldn't back away because I would be attacked by an army of her followers who would accuse me for being fake, when truly, I promise you, I'm just a friendly and nice person. I was torn because I got into an industry of likes and followers after being on reality TV, and I saw this opportunity to change things in my life. But I never chased after it because I'm not a user, I'm not a faker, and I'm definitely not a cheater. During festival season, I expressed to her that my ticket to Coachella fell through because my brand deal with another group fell through last minute. I felt guilty because I had my best friend and his girlfriend, who I'm also very close with, super excited for Coachella, having brought clothes and booked hotels already.
So I ended up getting him a ticket, VIP ticket, wristband. I'm like, what's with all these wristbands? Haven't I gotten in trouble enough with like getting people wristbands and things? But I got him a wristband.
I told her I wouldn't be seeing her there, and she kindly offered to get more tickets from Sugar Bear Hair for us. Girl, here we go again with your Sugar Bear Hair ad. I can't do this again. I told her that wasn't necessary, but if it was no big deal, then we'd all really appreciate it. I introduced her to my friends, and we, of course, were obligated to spend time together with her, and we really wanted to because she's a lot of fun.
It was such a fantasy, and it was everything I'd ever wanted, essentially.
But it wasn't romantic, it was again another transaction, so she badly wanted the boyfriend Coachella fantasy, as she had never been to Coachella. So like I had always done, I gave her the photos and the piggybacks and tried my best to show her a good time, since I had done the festival before.
Is it really just all about a business transaction to you, you know what I mean? Like, I saw on one of their snaps, him, his roommate, the girlfriend, and another girl.
But let's make it known that I did not run into that other person. I was good and well meeting her there as planned to spend the next day together. And I'll go ahead and add that I've known this person for a decade and I've always had an extreme strong connection with her. She's not some random to me, and she definitely did not think that this other person and I were a real item.
It was an internal battle between me and this other girl, which I hate. And literally, of course, her captions, break up with your girlfriend because I'm bored. Like, of course. And I sent him the screenshot of the photo of him and the girl. And he's like, oh yeah, I just ran into her like with an eye roll. And I was like don't lie on me, you know? Like,
she would have never used the words she did to disrespect anyone in that form or fashion. I'm far from a perfect person, but neither would I. I don't play people like that. As mine and this other girl's relationship built, I realized that it wasn't healthy for me or our relationship to continue on with an online facade. That is when I had to be brutally honest with her, how I felt about the situation, not for me. There's not an evil bone in my body, and I like to think that I'm an extremely accepting and loving person. So when she was upset with me for not posting her, it was not because I felt embarrassed of her, it was because I did not want to be inauthentic on something that was a representation of me. I was honestly with her on how I was feeling, and she didn't like it one bit because she had been working so hard to form something real. And I regret falling into that trap and letting it happen to me because I agree that I hurt her, just as she hurt me. I was forced to give her a fantasy in person and on camera as I continued to say yes to the opportunities. The pain I inflicted was never intentional, but rather innocent. I just wanted to quit feeling like I was living a lie and being forced into a lifestyle and scene that I didn't know I ever understood or ever wanted. I find this occurrence today to happen out of jealousy and spite, and I don't find the timing to be a coincidence. I would like to think this is all just a misunderstanding and miscommunication on both our ends. But at the caliber of her fame, one must assume that she might have other motives, pity or empathy. And I think she has learned from others how to do it well.